Alrighty, everyone. Good morning, good morning, good morning. It's kind of early here, but I wanted to get this out of the way before my day got busy. It's been about a month or so since I did my last video on the bees. Today I figured I'd do a just overall video on everything that I've been doing. Kind of kill two birds with one stone. If you remember from my last video, I came home after being gone for about 2 weeks to this first hive here, which is a mirror. I've stuck names on them. I'll tell you the story behind that uh, later in the video. But I stuck names on them because things kind of went crazy here, and it kind of helps me differentiate one hive from another. No other reason for the naming than that. But when I came home, this box here was just full from top to bottom with drone cells through crazy bird comb. And so I cleaned that up and I split it and made another hive, and it was still full of bees, but I figured if I split it the one time I'd be all right. Well, that didn't happen. This first hive right here swarmed on me. I came and checked it about 5 days after I had cleaned it up. And no, let me back up. So my niece and I were cleaning up the mess in this hive, and we couldn't find the queen. So I put two queen excluders on. I put one on the first box and I put one on the second box. The third box was the comb that we had, was over on the ground. They had attached to the hive body that I had food in, and also on the inner cover. So when I came back a few days later, to see which box the queen was in, hoping she was in the first box or the second box, I found her all the way up at the top. And so I moved her down to the bottom box, put the queen excluder on, removed the second queen excluder, came back about 5 days later, and she had swarmed with about 75% of the bees, as well as about 75% of the honey that was in the box. So I was a little ticked off about that. That was my little first Debbie Downer with my bees. So I split again because it was just so many bees in there. So I split, and there was about 10 queen cells in there. I took some of the frames out and made yet another split off of this hive right here, Miss Amira. And so they was queenless for a while. They were very, very angry. Actually, one zapped me in my mouth a few days after that, and I wasn't even near the hives. So I'm leaving them alone for a while. They should be queen right at this point in time. I have noticed more activity at the hives. I'm out here now because it's pretty early and I don't think they're out and about yet. The second hive there is Camilla. She is a new package that I got this year, and she is actually a carniolan queen. She is laying eggs like gangbusters. As you can see, I got the queen excluded on that as well to keep her from going up into the honey supers like Miss Amira did. And so she's on her second box. And I actually only installed her, I think, about April 6th, somewhere in there, after I got back from my trip. So it's been about a month, and she is really going like gangbusters. So that's the update for those two hives. And like I said, I'm not going to go into them right now because Miss Amir has backed me up quite a bit from going into the hives to check them, and actually gave me an eye-awakening experience because those bees had never behaved the way they did when they were queenless. Even when they were queenless last year, they never acted the way they did this year. So that's the update on those two. Now over here, oh, and by the way, when I came home in April, first week in April, I had 2 hives. I'm now up to 9, which is 7 here and 2 off at another location. So this one here, Miss Simone, she's one of my original hives. She was my second original hive that I had last year. I got her and Amira in June of last year. She's going like gangbusters as well. She is still the original queen from last year, my only original queen from last year. Um, Sorry about the cars that just went down the street. It's school time. But anyway, she's going like gangbusters. I have split her, and so this box beside her, I'm calling Grace. She is an Italian, just like Simone. Also, Amira is an Italian. So Grace is split from Simone, two Italians. They're both going like gangbusters. The queen just came back into Grace about 3 days ago. So they have been busy building over there. And I'm going to have to split Simone again, I do believe, because she is quite full. The hive down there on the end is Marie. She's one of my new boxes from this year. I purchased 4 packages actually this year. This is the second of the 4. And this is a Carniolan. Yeah, this is the Carniolan. Sorry, Jesus. The one up front with Amira is a Cordovan. I think I got them mixed up when I said it at first. The other one is a Cordovan. This one is a Carniolan. Marie is a Carniolan. And Lord, whatever the name is of the other one up there, I can't remember, is a Cordovan. I'm finding that I bought a total of 4 packages, 2 Carniolans, 2 Cordovans. I'm finding that the Cordovans are gangbusters compared to the Carniolans. They're not doing bad, but there's definitely a big difference in the two as far as the queen laying brood. So they're doing real well. And what I decided this year also, last year I overwintered in 2 deep hive bodies. This year I'm going to do 1 deep, 1 medium, but I'm going to run during honey season. I'm going to run 1 deep, and then the top super, the medium, will be for honey until fall. Then I'm going to switch them back down to the deep and the medium to get them through the winter. Simone, I am running her a deep and a medium right now because she is going like gangbusters, and for the same reason I'm doing Miss Marie right here, because she's gangbustering as well. This hive over here is Leilani. She was a split from Amira. She was my original split from Amira. So she had been queenless for a while, and I just noticed the queen came back here also about 3 days ago. So they are now a whole lot more active. They weren't doing very much of anything up to about 2 days, maybe actually yesterday is when I really noticed a lot more movement. As you can see, they're going in and out now. Before that, I might have seen 2 bees going in and out of this hive. So I will check that one probably Sunday and see what she's doing. This one here is empty, and I set this one up because these other ones were going like gangbusters, and I couldn't keep up with grabbing boxes and grabbing frames. So this is an empty box, no frames in it. I'm just waiting for the next explosion to hit. This one is Mistine. She is also a split from Mira. She's an Italian. This was my second split I did on Amira. And so she was queenless as well. And I'm not quite sure that the queen has come back from this yet. I don't think so. So I'm waiting on that one. So pretty much that's my update on the bees. And if I had any advice to give to new beekeepers, is make sure you have lots of equipment, because my ideal was that I would have 2 hives, maybe 3, and that's all that I wanted. But circumstances kind of changed that, and so now I'm up to 9 hives. And so I have to figure out a plan of action for next year when this happens, because I don't want to keep increasing my hives like this. I want it as a hobby. I don't want it to be work. And let me tell you, splitting these hives and trying to get these queens and stuff, these hives queened right, was no fun. So someone suggested that I register my apiary and then sell bees, and I'm not sure I want to do that either. But anyway, that would be my advice to anyone who's thinking about becoming a beekeeper. Weigh all your options, because I have really put a lot of money into buying more hive bodies, and it gets expensive. It adds up. Not so much the bees, because the bees are going to come, but the equipment that you have to put it in and everything that goes into that. And I'm actually waiting for more frames to be delivered today, actually, because I know it's not going to be much longer before I'm going to have to add another box to all of these hives. Let's see if there's anything else. Oh, I did my first vendor event last weekend. It was a great success. I was selling honey from Florida, orange blossom honey. Big success with that, and it was kind of fun. I'm not really a people person, but that wasn't too bad. So that's it for the bees, and maybe next week or Sunday when I get in these, I might do a video depending on how the girls are doing, because if they're still pissy, there will be no video of me doing combat with the bees. So on to other things here. I had this wood chip pile. It's been kind of over here for about a year or so. Not really doing a whole lot with it. So I decided to put some green beans in there. I think you can see the sun's kind of hitting my camera, but I planted some green beans all over there. And then some cabbage, not cabbage, collard greens. Someone gave us some collard greens last weekend. And so we just kind of stuck those over there. And I have green beans in the bucket. Let me tell you why I'm planting vegetables like this, because this ground here is like concrete. And the weeds is worse than the concrete. And I don't understand how anything can grow in this stuff, but it does. Some things has its struggles, but trying to dig a hole to put anything in is like back breaking, and my back's not that strong. So anyway, this is my little honey house area. I'm trying to get my little plants out here, and actually that's what I'll be working on today, is transplanting more plants out. Yesterday I did my hostas and some irises and things, and so it's coming along. It's coming along really well. It's a journey. It's a journey, as most things. But that's what's going on with the honey house and the bees. If you see these red barrels up the driveway, last year I had elephant ears galore, and it was kind of looking like a jungle. And so what I did is I bought a bunch of pots in the fall. I dug up all of my bulbs and I put them in storage, and I repotted them this year. Now I don't know how that hosta got in there, but I'm going to remove that. Shouldn't be nothing but elephant ears in these pots. And they're just now starting to peek their little heads up. Over here looks like a jungle, because it is. This is what I've decided to leave as the bee yard. And so the bees have been hitting these flowers pretty hard. And as far as anything else, I'll do an update on my peach trees and pear trees and cherry trees later. But I think for now, that's it. I just really wanted to update you on those bees and the expansion that I've had since about April 6th, I think, is when I came back home. and things started going kind of haywire on me. As always, thanks for watching, and hopefully I'll get another video out on the other things a little later.